Hi, I'm Paul Shred, International Editor at the Cyber Express, and with me today is Kostab Mayday, Cyble's Vice President of Research and Cyber Threat Intelligence. And we're here to talk about the expensive and painful problem of romance scams and what can be done about them. So great to have you with us, Kostab.
Thanks, Paul. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. So just how big of a problem is romance scams?
Yeah, typically less than 10% of reported scams, in the industry today. But the largest median per person loss, it actually crossed almost $4,000 in 2022. And reports suggest that almost over $1 billion were lost to romance scams just in 2023. So it is a real problem for the industry. And the consequences can go beyond the urgent send me money requests to include identity theft, infection of endpoint devices with malware, blackmail. So it's a very painful way to get scammed because it also ends in heartbreak. And phishing is also a problem at this time of the year because there's a lot of fake websites popping up, typo squatted domains trying to steal your credit card information, and targeting people who are looking at, discounted websites, chocolate dating apps, and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's a real industry problem.
Yeah, yeah, boy, it definitely has to hurt when you find out at the end that it's a scam too. That's a double sting in a way. So, is there any type of a victim profile? Are there certain people who tend to fall for this more than others?
Yeah, I think it's mostly to do with people who are lonely. Most of the seniors who are not that tech savvy, they generally tend to be prone to romance scams. But again, this scam, anyone who is interested in getting in a digital relationship typically could fall prey to these kinds of scams, and any income level, any age. Anyone accessing a dating app, becoming too friendly on social media accounts, anyone with a messaging app or a text app, all are likely to get targeted. And there have been studies, in fact, which say that almost 70% of women victims are targeted, and fraudsters generally present themselves as white European or US based males. And a few studies have traced a lot of these attacks to originate from Western African countries. And the scammer could literally be anyone, including your next door neighbor. And also, Facebook and WhatsApp are one of the most preferred platforms for these types of scams.
Wow. Yeah, you raised a good point with dating apps because that's a place where people expect to meet people and they're kind of in a place where they could get hit by a scam easier even. So I would assume that dating apps are possibly really right for this kind of thing. Um, what are the warning signs of a scam? How do they typically start and progress?
Yeah, there are several red flags actually, to watch out for when you are in a online relationship. And the first thing is to do with the background of this person. So they might just say that they are living, working overseas, but they never really tell you all the details which typically add up. And their online presence is very, very minimal. They have a very restricted digital footprint, so you can't really collaborate or verify their stories, and then their stories start to feel a bit inconsistent. And they are too fast. So if someone you've just met online is already declaring their love, or professing true feelings for you, or pushing for a quick meetup, that's an immediate red flag. And then many of these scammers, they're not that fluent with English, so you might notice dodgy communication. Their grammar might be a bit off. And they would insist moving your chats from the platform like a dating app quickly to Telegram or WhatsApp. That's another warning sign to look for. And typically, these scammers tend to avoid a lot of video calls. They would typically come up with a lot of excuses, or even if the video is on, you may see that the video is quite grainy. You're not able to make out the face quite clearly. And you should be wary if they ask for money, because especially through these scams, they are quickly pivoting to cryptocurrency gift card scams. and they start talking about crypto investments, forex trading, and stuff like that. And many of the times, when scammers tend to exchange their pictures, these pictures are often doctored or morphed, even AI generated, and they may be taken in settings which are too glamorous, and so which might not be that real. And yeah, I mean, these are some of the warning signs that you should look for when you are getting into a digital online relationship.
Yeah. So, what are some things people can do to protect themselves? Obviously, look for things that move too fast. If someone asks for money, that's another warning sign. What are the things they can do
Yeah.
to stay
Yeah,
safe?
I mean, things like, immediately a friend request, progressing quickly into a very fast relationship, the person, not being able to meet in person or trying to avoid it, or, creating a sudden emergency asking for financial help. But yeah, I mean, just becoming aware of these, schemes and watching out for all the red flags that we just discussed. Also setting social media settings to private, trying to reduce your profile visibility to unknown people who could target you. Staying away from people who send you friend requests but you don't know them. Trying to be a bit more curious and trying to do reverse image searches of photographs, trying to see if the details which the scammer is or the person is sending you, is it true or not. Trying to check all the background information. Watch out for money requests. People asking for bank transfers, gift cards, reloadable debit cards, and stuff like that. So just avoid sending any money or sharing any private or intimate information digitally with the person you haven't really met in real life. That I would say is the single most important mechanism to prevent yourself from getting into a scam.
Yeah. I really like the thought of the image search too, because I bet you would probably see the same face in 100 different places with 100 different names if it's a scam. So it would probably stand out easily.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So will AI make this problem even worse? Can voice and video fakes get to the point that more people fall for this or basically any kind of scam?
Yeah, I think AI and deep fakes, are posing a real problem, for law enforcement, and very, very difficult to counter, in the current situation we are in, with the current pace of advancements that we are seeing in AI, especially where scammers are easily able to spin up synthetic identities. They could use AI tools to create an entirely fabricated persona which doesn't exist. This includes creating realistic profile images, pictures, using deep fake or AI image generators, and then also even using deep fake audio to generate voices which can mimic the real human speech and mimic the lip movement, so it becomes very difficult to track. We've also seen automated chatbots powered by AI being used in the industry, to carry on engaging two-way conversations with people, and sometimes these can be so realistic. I mean, the chatbots can really carry on emotional conversations, emotionally charged conversations, and making the scammer seem so attentive and genuine without requiring a constant human oversight. So and nowadays AI can also help you craft a lot of convincing stories, creating detailed backstories as well, so which lend credibility to the scammer's identity, because AI tools can literally pull large amounts of data from across your various social profiles, and they can tailor these systems to really resonate with your potential victims, and appeal to their emotional side. So yeah, I mean, it's I think that's a real threat. AI deepfake audio definitely is going to we are going to see a lot of these technologies being used more effectively in these types of scams.
Yeah, it's kind of a different issue, but there was a case in Hong Kong last year where a chief financial officer or something like that somehow got hooked into a Zoom call with all these AI images of his coworkers, and he wound up, sending $25 million to some place that he shouldn't have. So if people at that level can get fooled, then I think it's really going to be a dangerous thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are there anything banks and financial organizations can do to help their customers?
Yeah, I think it's more of a shared responsibility. I mean, on the first hand, I would say people generally, when they are exploring digital platforms for getting into relationships, they need to be better equipped to handle, these deep fake AI-based scams and being able to spot them better, which means trying to verify the identity of the person whom you're talking to, requesting for spontaneous video calls. Deep fakes, generally they would tend to struggle with live unplanned video sessions, and you would easily be able to spot some digital aberrations, glitches, delays, unnatural face movements that may indicate some kind of manipulation. And also doing continuous recordings of these sessions would help you compare images and videos over time, so you can spot any inconsistencies like a change in lighting, some kind of change in backgrounds, slight differences in facial features that don't add up, and just trying to pick up some behavioral cues from conversations, looking at monotonous tones, or lack of natural pauses, or flawless communication as well, or the inability to engage in off-topic questions. So stuff like that is really a clue for you to detect if you're talking to a non-human identity on the other side. And yeah, I mean, staying alert through these signs is one thing which people can do. But then on the other side, financial institutions definitely can employ a lot of advanced technologies like behavioral detections, monitoring for unusual transactions in accounts. So if suddenly banks see a cryptocurrency based transaction from an account which has not engaged in such transactions earlier, they could probably put these transactions on hold. Or if there are sudden overseas transactions from an account which hasn't really done these kinds of things before, using machine learning to detect these transactions for possible fraud, training their customers, making them aware of these scams through periodic security awareness mailers and through marketing. These are some of the things that financial institutions can do to avoid their customers from being duped.
Oh, great. Yeah. They've gotten really good at monitoring for fraud too. So that's definitely an area that they could help out. So um, anyway, thank you so much for your time and insights, Kostub. Our guest has been Kostub Mayday, Cyble's Vice President and Research of Cyber Threat Intelligence. And be sure to check out Cyble's many tools that can help with scams and deep fakes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Paul. Pleasure.